What's going on, everybody? I hope all is well. The original title or subject of this video is going to be talking about how people just don't believe me when I tell them that I use a total gym or sliding bench trainer for pretty much almost all my exercise, not just let alone my resistance training. But then I thought of, it'd be worthwhile to do a video talking about the most common objections, misconceptions, critiques about a total gym or sliding bench trainer, whether that's for somebody who's thinking about picking up a machine, or they just look at it, they kind of see about it, and they're kind of gauging, what are these things all about, and they go on the internet and they kind of stumble upon maybe one of these objections that makes them kind of rethink their purchase or rethink the effectiveness of the machine. And so that's like what I want to get into in this video. I'll put some timestamps down below. I'll put links in the description box. And as always, if you guys like this content, and if you guys want to subscribe, that's definitely always beneficial and helps me out in the channel as well. So before I get into the top 5 things, one thing I'll just point out is that before I made this video, I tried to kind of really think of these top 5 areas as best I could, because there's a lot of sub comments and questions that relate to this. If there's something I think I missed, definitely let me know. And prior to this too, to kind of solidify my top 5 objections or misconceptions about the total gym, is I went on the internet and just started looking around what people were saying. So different forums and websites, people were pretty much looking at maybe considering purchasing one, asking some the effectiveness of the machine or whatever, maybe second guessing their purchase. And looking at some of the comments, I mean, I was not too surprised, but I was surprised by some of even the positive responses. So people that actually liked the machine, some of the stuff they were saying in defense of the total gym or sliding bench still were kind of surprising. The fact that I think they still had a misconception about the use of this machine and the effectiveness of these types of machines. But I definitely wasn't surprised by some of the negative knee-jerk reaction people are having. Some people were just saying, it's a scam, doesn't do anything, it's a piece of junk, don't waste your time, you're never going to build muscle on this thing, it's not good for bodybuilding, etc. So that helped me kind of solidify these top 5 things. So I thought I'd just kind of throw that out there as something kind of interesting. But again, if you see something else I didn't cover, you think that's a misconception, let me know. First objection that I think I see, and this covers a number of different areas, and in fact someone asked a comment in one of my previous videos, and made me kind of think about even making this video, and this whole topic could take a video in and of itself. It's that you need heavy weight to build muscle, or that the total gym doesn't give you a lot of external weight, and therefore it's not effective as a good form of resistance training. Now, like I said, this could be a whole video in itself, because there's plenty of videos that have discussed this. In fact, I'd refer people to Dr. Brad Schoenfeld, who's like the leading authority on muscle hypertrophy, definitely at least in the United States. He's talked about and cited research, done videos, I think articles about this, and I think at this point has been debunked at this point, that the idea that you can't build muscle with lightweight is essentially been debunked. That's a myth. Certainly you can build muscle with heavyweight, you can build muscle with medium resistance weight. A combination of those spectrums is always kind of good as well. But the idea, just because it's light or has no external resistance, or using body weight, I shouldn't say body weight, but the fact that you can manipulate these things through like through gravity and different angles and stuff. The point is, you don't necessarily need tons of extra heavy external weight. How a muscle grows, I don't want to go into too much detail, really is dependent on your consistency and really the drive and stress that's placed upon the muscle that facilitates the need in the body to actually tell the body, hey, this muscle has to grow and get bigger to adapt to the demands placed upon the stress that's on the body or on the muscle. And so that's, it takes reps, sets, weeks, months, years compounded over time that will then, slowly change the architecture of the muscle. You don't necessarily have to always add and be training with really, really heavy weight. I could go on longer with that point, but I just thought I'd kind of bring that out. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that the total gym is just a lightweight training machine. In fact, if you guys watch my videos, half the time I can struggle sometimes with 10 reps. A lot of times it is between 10 to 20 repetitions is that range I'm in. But I saw a comment on one of the negative reviews, and I think it was somebody who actually purchased it, saying, I bought this machine and I already got to the top of the tower, like the top pin, whatever, and therefore they thought that they already kind of maxed out, they progressed as far as they could, and therefore the machine's worthless. That mentality, I understand where they're coming from. You got to throw that out the window. For pure strength training, yes, I would say, to like raw strength training, like you want to be a power lifter, yeah, I mean, you want to do progressive overload at intensity, that's going to be a factor. But with muscle building, and I would say even with getting stronger to a degree, it doesn't matter. Like half the time, if you guys watch my channel, I'm not really I'm not really at the top of the thing the whole time. I mean, I have to majority of the time I'm like in the middle of the machine, and I'm not even really honestly paying attention to the pin unless I'm making a workout video for you guys and I say, hey, you can go ahead and increase a step up for each set. I mean, you could do that to progress it. But for me, I'm going off a feeling. I'm jumping around up and down up that tower just to kind of manipulate various stressors and the tempo and speed. Just depends on the workout, what I'm feeling that day. So the point is, don't get too hung up on like that tower thing. And you guys know you can manipulate the stress on a muscle through time under tension, the speed, the rest period you're doing, putting bands and external weight or something like that. So number of things, different angles, ways you're sitting on the machine. So there's tons of ways you can manipulate the tension or stress in the muscle outside of just external weight. All right, point number 2, I think kind of has to go with point number 1, and it might even have to go with point number 3 a little bit, but I do think it's its own separate category. So the second misconception people have is that you can get the same, if not better, benefit using dumbbells and barbells, free weights, than you can purchasing a total gym. So don't bother buying a total gym or sliding bench trainer. Do yourself a favor, buy some, weights, free weights, whatever, etc. Some of this has to do again with what I said earlier, that people have this mentality of heavy weight, but I think another part of this is just like cost of entry. People look at this and see, okay, it's kind of like a gimmicky thing. It's kind of limited in what you can do. Pick up some free weights. You have more flexibility, more range of motion, more stuff you can do with it. But really, I'd say it's kind of cost of entry. And I would argue, especially now more than ever, gone are the days where you can get like 45-pound dumbbells for $45, where like it was like $1 a pound basically. That was with free shipping on Amazon. Now if you want to get a 45-pound weight plate, just one plate, if you're gonna like basically stack your gym with like a squat rack, barbells, and plates, whatever, you're going to pay a lot of money just to kind of get that cost of entry. And then keep in mind too, with a total gym, there's many different models, there's different sales and prices that people can purchase these things for. There's also the Great Flex, like I've mentioned, that's like $500. So in my opinion, cost of entry is lower for a total gym or sliding bench trainer compared to dumbbells and free weights. So I don't really think it's really of a benefit to go ahead and buy those things. If someone said they have limited funds and they want to get the biggest bang for their buck they can, and this is a number of different areas, not just talking about space saving and stuff like that and versatility and efficiency, I would still say go ahead and get a total gym or a sliding bench trainer. That's my opinion. Now I have to preface this with almost everything I'm saying here right now, honestly, is that if you don't like using a total gym, if you don't think it's going to fit, like if you're super tall and if you're maybe on the obese side, morbidly obese side, it can have some problems kind of getting on and off the machine that might limit its functionality to you. But the point is, if you're not going to use it, it doesn't fit you, then this isn't a good idea. But for the general person, I'm going to say the total gym or sliding bench trainer is probably a better option, in my opinion, on the goals that most people are seeking. All right, and then point number 3, which again, all these are somewhat a little bit related. I do think it's distinctively different as an objection, but another misconception with a total gym is the fact that it's not good for building muscle. It might be good for rehab, it might be good for older people, might be good, a good functional trainer, might be a good piece of extra equipment to have. But if you're looking to buy something like a total gym or sliding bench trainer to build muscle, this is not a good choice. That's what people are. I think I saw a lot of kind of themes of that, and a lot of people even were praising the total gym and saying, I love this piece of equipment, I think it's great, it helped rehab my shoulder, I got some cool exercise out of it. But definitely you want to make sure you have your other stuff too, or go to the gym or whatever. My point is, I made this whole channel is because almost dedicated to this idea that yes, you can build muscle using a total gym, and very, very effectively and efficiently, I might add, if not maybe superior in some circumstances. My point is, this is definitely a misconception. All right, and then point number 4 is people's belief that it's limited in exercises. So people might look at this thing and say, again, it looks kind of fun, but the exercises, really, there's not a whole lot you can do on it. I saw some comments, people saying, some people saying that there's only a handful of exercises. The rest of exercises are kind of weird. They don't feel right. And in some ways, I'm going to make a video about this too in the future. There are a lot of exercises, to be honest, when I look at them, when I saw infomercials, or even I see the production of some of the total gym videos, and I see the stuff they're performing, they do look kind of awkward and weird, and like they're not done, I don't want to say done properly, but they're kind of like jarring in the way they're kind of performed. They don't look smooth and fluid. Not to say something has to look smooth and fluid to be effective, but the point is I can see what they're saying about it. They might say, well, it might be good for a few things, like maybe the pullovers, that looks good. Maybe you can do some cool pull-ups, maybe the inverted presses, but you can't train your legs effectively. You can't do a variety of chest exercises. They'll say it's essentially is limited, that you're better off maybe going to the gym. You're better off getting, like I said, dumbbells, free weights, and a bunch of extra fully equipped home gym. And my opinion is definitely no. I think if you compare this, again, not to kind of keep going to point number 2, but with dumbbells and free weights, I'd say you're just as comparable with exercises, if not more so, with a total gym. And that's not saying just total number of exercises. I mean effective exercises. I've said this before, I think when I compared directly the dumbbells to a total gym, that 9 times out of 10, I'm preferring to do the exact same body part on a total gym than I would be on a pair of dumbbells. So let's just take legs, for example. So if we compare like the traditional barbell, which is a nice gold standard, again, I'm not knocking barbells or dumbbells, but let's just say a barbell squat, or how many leg exercises can you do with a barbell squat? Yes, I know there's a lot you can do. There's deadlifts, there's squats, there's lunges. Those are probably the big 3 things people are going to do with them. But with a total gym, as far as legs, I'm looking at legs specifically because that's the one that people knock a lot, that you saying, well, you can do a lot of upper body, but not a lot of legs. Total gym, you can do leg extensions, leg curls, single leg stuff. You can do squatting type movements, squatting face down, face up. You can do lunging type patterns. You can do kind of plyometric type jumps, or kind of like jump squats, or I should just say jumping type squats. Tons of different variety just on legs alone. That is comparable, definitely if you're comparing it to like a pair of dumbbells. Dumbbells, 9 times out of 10, if I'm training legs with my dumbbells, it's pretty much some form of a squat or maybe a deadlift, and once in a while lunges. But I'm honestly doing more variety on my total gym as far as legs than I do with my free weights, or have done with my free weights. So that's just something I have to say. And then as far as the other body parts, with the upper body, it's kind of case closed for me. I mean, you can do tons of variety of rows, tons of variety of single joint shoulders. This is, in my opinion, one of the best extra home things if you're home for like building arms and stuff in your shoulders in general. Chest is something that honestly gets kind of criticized a little bit, but there's tons of variety of chest stuff. Incline, straight presses. Just did a video, a commenter talking about this supinated press. I do presses from the down below, from like the Pilates bar. You can do different push-up variations, tons of stuff. And again, if I compare just like my power block dumbbells, 9 times out of 10, I needed another bench, honestly, but really it was incline presses and chest presses and flies. I have more variety with my total gym and sliding bench trainer with even just my chest alone than I do with my dumbbells. So I'll just kind of say that. And again, people might be saying, well, you're kind of limited in stress and intensity. I think I stress and directly stress my chest more so than I do with my 90-pound dumbbell power blocks, because those, honestly, that's why I don't really use them as much, because I get more out of using my total gym and sliding bench trainers. So no, I think that as far as number of exercises, it's definitely not limited exercises. And one point with that too, people might think, well, it might get kind of boring and monotonous. Again, if you compare it to any of those things I just said earlier, or typical things you'd find in your home gym, not to say you couldn't get those extra things. I have more fun doing it on this anyways, but yeah, you might repeat some exercises here and there, but there's no shortage of exercises, is my point, using a total gym or sliding bench trainer. Except for, like as I addressed earlier in the video, if you might be limited to your dimensions. I mean, like I said, if you're a super tall person, this could be a problem. I don't know what that cutoff would be, but super tall people might be limited a little bit more so than someone who's like a normal size or maybe shorter person. And if you're morbidly obese, definitely if you're obese, you can handle this thing. But I know just from experience talking with some people that if you're really overweight, people have a hard time getting in some of these positions and really just taking advantage of the sheer number of these exercises. So you'll have more doors open to you in exercises. It just kind of depends on the individual, honestly. But that really goes with any type of exercise or any type of exercise apparatus. And then finally, the final objection that I see to people really is just kind of a surface area type thing, where people just look at it and they think it's just a scam item, that it's a worthless piece of equipment simply because it's something novel and unique looking compared to a traditional dumbbell or barbell. And I've kind of addressed this point as well in other videos, that one of the knee-jerk reactions I was seeing on comment boards and stuff, where people are just saying it's an infomercial gimmick, it's, you know, been selling all, it's just basically it's all marketing and hype. That's the only reason it's been on the air this long. It's a piece of junk. It's this metal piece of plastic. It's this glide board thing. You know, it doesn't do anything. And again, if to me, you have to maybe try it to really believe it and adhere to it, as I did. That I understand where they're coming from in a lot of these points, but to me, I wouldn't look back. This is why I continue to use it. I have no signs of stopping from using this product. As far as comparing it to heavy weightlifting, and this is all again around the goal of like muscle building, muscle definition type stuff, comparing it to heavy weightlifting, going to the gym with a full set of array of different machines, I'm getting everything I want out of this piece of equipment. Yes, it's fun. Maybe I kind of miss the gym once in a while, but you know what? The trade-off is I apparently don't miss it that much, because I like my efficient, effective, and just the more fun workouts than I do with the Total Gym than I am going to your typical gym down the street. So that's basically it, guys, in this video. I could go on a lot longer. I'm losing my voice actually just kind of doing this video. So that's it. If you guys like this content, want to see more of it, and I'm just curious to see what you guys have any objections you think people might be facing, let me know down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.